guys, I'm at the moment, well, I've got, obviously you can see I've got the camera in my hands. It's great having this wide angle lens because it means I can actually do that. Now I've not got a mic on, so hopefully the sound is coming through okay. I just wanted to have a quick talk about some of the little changes we've made around here. So we'll start with the rack. So we've got this nice rack in. Now we've not yet labelled it, we've not yet sorted through it, and you can see some powder coat and stuff has got into some of them. It's the trouble with a small space, but we're getting there. We are getting there. So hopefully very soon we'll be able to start labelling these. And what we do is we'll label not only the container, but behind the container, and then we know exactly where it needs to go back, which will be really useful. Next one is, you know, it's a cable reel up here, which feeds into our new, which used, but it's still new for us, our new cable cut and measure machine. So if I fire this little baby up, let me bring you around, I'll show you. Alright. Oh, this is fun holding this. Okay, so we're going to normal wire mode. We will close the jaws on this. If it'll let me. There we go. We've closed. Oh, hang on, the cable's pulled back. Wait 1 second. We'll open it back up again. I'm going to just feed the cable through manually to adjust. What I want to do, let's pull it back a little bit. I want the cable to basically just be just through that jaw there. Maybe if I'm quick. Ah! It doesn't matter. And then what we can do is we can set the length on here. So at the moment it's 500mm. So if I do single, and there you go, and the cable's just fallen down here. But check that out. That's a 500mm total length. Sorry, it's a little bit hard for me to hold in one hand, but it's 500mm total length. We strip. There we go, the end of that, like that. So that's our connection end. And the other end, whoops, the other end is the end we do our soldering bit on. But it does it all in one here. The only thing I need to remember to do is open the jaws before I stop using the machine. And then I can power it off. I'm actually really pleased that this tube worked then, because I did 3D print this tube over the weekend. It didn't 3D print perfectly, as you can see, but the idea was I wanted the cables to come out this side and not fall down the back of the lathe here. You know, you kind of got to work with what you got to work with, right? I've spent a bit of time looking at different options for us with regards to moving. I looked at some local units and they're pricey, so I don't know, I'm talking to an agent at the minute, and we'll see what happens. You never know, we might move or we might stay. So if we stay, project 2, aside from obviously the whole tidying issue, now I don't know, this is literally the end of the day on Monday, so Max was down here assembling bits and pieces, and I think, to be honest, actually it was just kind of left by Jamie and Connie on Friday as to how this was left. I mean, generally we have been a bit tidier, which has been quite useful, and I just got the 3D printer out just to start repairing it. Now with the cabinets, oh look, the floor is a mess. With the cabinets, they're closed up, which is great. I started sorting out the top for this one. I've got the Octopies and stuff out, and I was going to put the other printer that's downstairs in the cabinet, but I can't, because basically the shelf that we got, which is telescopic shelves, for some reason the rails are missing. I have no idea where the rails are. Yeah, so you know, so it's getting there up here. I've got to sort out a Y piece for extraction. You can see our extraction is connected to this cabinet. It's not connected to this cabinet at the moment. And the reason this top isn't on is because you've got that filament there feeding down to the printer below. So yeah, and then we've got our pre-filter. I can't remember if it's like an M4 or something, and it's an F7 filter. And at the moment, temporarily, I've got this bit of flexi duct, which I'm going to replace with that bit of steel duct. I just need to cut it. It's time, it's always time. And I spent the day trying to sort these bits and pieces, believe it or not. So I've not done a lot in terms of work on actual light building and so on and so forth. So on the lathe today we did run loads of aluminium bases. This is a scrap cloth, not my underwear. I've just started doing brass, so I think that's the last bit of brass in there. So next thing I need to do is empty out the machine, get all of this brass that's here out, clean it out, and put the brass in the box that's down there. And then we're going to do 2 copper backs. So I'll get those on very shortly. I'm a little bit more worried about copper because copper's quite sticky and quite hard to deal with. And yeah, and then the guys had asked, well, Jamie in particular had asked for a couple of changes. He asked for a coffee machine, and we had this one indoors actually for a while, and I thought, yeah, why not? Okay, so we've got coffee machine, espresso coffee machines and capsules, and I was asking Connie if she would, because she never lets me make tea. So I'm wondering if I had the kettle, etc., whether or not she'd make her own tea. So kettle's in here now, so that's all good, and we've got a fridge just down there. So we're packing more and more stuff in because obviously, you know, this was all this stuff racked here. Look, boxes are falling over. But yeah, this is all that stuff here. And it's kind of moved up. I got rid of some bits and pieces that were on top. We had some old stock lights, and they were sold on to another contractor. Obviously explained that they were the older type, etc. But that meant that we could get our cable cut machine here. Eventually we're going to have our injection moulding machine come in, so that's probably going to have to go over here. We haven't really got much choice about where it can really go because it's quite large, and it's just getting tighter and tighter and tighter in here, so it's going to get harder and harder. So eventually we will have to think about moving, but hopefully, so say that other project, we're going to have that container out there. We'll have powder coating, so we'll have proper and really nice powder coating set up instead of this in there, and I'm trying to do something about anodising as well, because I've got a plan in my mind about doing anodising. I'm just trying to find the right bits and pieces to be able to do it. But I mean, doing the anodising here just really isn't working. Just to show you the acid, I put this rubber mat down to try and protect the shelf. But can you see that? Look, this is all just falling apart, and especially underneath. Like, it is literally just, oh my god. And I'm worried about the safety because that is hydrochloric acid. I think it's hydrochloric acid. So I'm worried about the safety of this falling through. I've checked structurally, the actual shelf that it's on seems fine. It's just literally just like the paint and like a layer coming off. But you know, obviously this cannot be a long-term fix, or there can't be a long-term solution with that. So what we need to do is do something better. So I'm hoping that it'll work in with what we do out there. I think the plan, so originally it was going to be a 2 metre by 3 metre container. I might have to go for a 2 metre by 4 metre container to kind of make it work, but it's going to be that kind of situation where it might be tight again. I don't necessarily want it all to be tight. I want to try and gain space. It's hard, it really is. We had a garage door company come in and talk about the garage door, whether or not we can change it as a barn door style, so that, you know, in terms of coming in and out of here, it's less noisy because this door is bloody noisy, and also we don't have to have the whole thing open. You only have to open a small amount because the air conditioning that we've got, you know, the aircon unit that we've got upstairs works really well for cooling the space. When we keep all the doors closed, it actually will cool the whole space. And you know, have to be mindful of our neighbours, etc., and about noise. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I say industrial unit would be absolutely ideal, but 1,500 square foot round here is 28,500 at the moment is what we'd be looking at, plus business rates. And I'm just trying to see if we can find something that, you know, whether or not we can negotiate that rate and get it down, or what, because at the minute I'm still not taking wages out of the business at all. So all the business does is it pays me for electricity, for rent of the garage, which is not a lot. I think I can charge something like £200 or £300 a month. I can't remember now without looking at the accounts, but it's not a lot. There's only so much you can actually really charge by the HMRC. So electricity, that. And that's about it, and it's paid back a lot of like loans that I lent the business, which is kind of now what I'm almost living on as it pays it back. But it's getting to the point now where obviously I need to start actually taking a wage out of it. And being that there is now 4 of us in the business, obviously 2 are 2 days a week and Max is 4 days a week, you know, we should be able to start getting there now. Jamie actually, although he's 2 days a week now, in September it will become 4 days a week. So it'd be more or less full time then, and then hopefully again we can push production on. My only worry is that normally around September, October time we start seeing a slight dip in sales because obviously people start doing less outdoor lighting projects. But we're looking at whether or not sales will continue large enough that we won't need to worry, or whether we can diversify into doing a little mix of interior lighting. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So that's it for today. We'll see you again soon.